there is a big race. I have all the details for you in this video. Also, what Bernie Sanders said earlier today in an interview talking about this stimulus package. We have another new COVID variant. Alright, so let's quickly talk about Bernie Sanders and what he said earlier today in that interview, specifically talking about this stimulus package. He said a few things, and here what he said. Number one, he said that the president, as in the President Biden, cannot count on him definitively for counter-offer and counter-proposal to build back better agenda, but rather he is going to need to read through the entire proposal and see what is in there, and if it is something he is actually going to support. Kind of interesting symbol because all the times that we were seeing these packages come out, usually Bernie turns on these things and usually offers his support almost immediately. But this time he is saying no. President Biden cannot count on my support automatically, and then he can sign off and say, this is actually pretty interesting because we learned that just a couple days ago, Commission is going to be working privately with administration and other lawmakers to write up this new bill or the new version of the Build Back Better agenda and see what they actually want to have in this package going forward. So we should be getting some more details on this. But essentially, what this is saying here, this is that Bernie Sanders essentially doesn't really trust Trump Mansion and what is going to come out of this next proposal. Therefore, Bernie Sanders, just like all of lawmakers should be doing, is reading through every single line of these bills in this proposal before they decide to endorse it and actually have their support behind it. But again, a lot of times these bills are several 1,000 pages. Who wants to sit here and read that? Or let's be real, who actually has the time to read all that? It's a lot of legislative language. It's a lot of the deep reading, right? Bernie Sanders certainly wants to read through this line by line, see what's totally in there, and see if he can support it. Now, Bernie Sanders also did come out and say in the same interview, it is time to start voting. Now, this comes as no surprise, because we have heard this out Bernie Sanders before. The Bernie is getting a little bit frustrated with the process going on here, and he's essentially saying that they need to put all these senators on record, bringing it to the floor, and they are actually somewhat confident that some of these proposals within the Build Back Better agenda can actually start to get passed here. Bernie is essentially saying, we got to vote. It is the time to vote. Bring it to the floor in the Senate, open it up for the debate, and start voting on these packages. Either they failed, they passed, we kind of get the reading on where everybody sits right now. But either way, we don't know where everybody sits until we actually hold these votes. We will be hearing that for a very long time. Now this is time to vote. Bring it in. Let's do it. Maybe it's bring something this week. They are potentially thinking about bringing the Build Back Better agenda this week to the floor to actually open it up and vote on it. It's all up in the air right now. Nothing has been confirmed for a vote yet this week, but we will have to see if they actually do that. Surely nice to actually see more action on this thing. Alright, so let's quick talk about this new COVID variant. You can't believe that you're hearing this, but this is not a new one. In fact, there's yet again another new one. Now, this one is actually variant of Omicron. So right now, this real Omicron variant it took over a couple months ago and it spread very quickly. Now we have the variant of Omicron. They are actually calling it PA as a Trevor Alpha So that's what they are identifying this as. And this is variant of Omicron variant. It's not detected here in the United States yet, but rather it's being detected across multiple different European countries. And they are saying it's even more transmissible than even just the strand of Omicron. And they even tell us that Omicron variant was even multiple times more transmissible than other variants. We are going down this path again. Here's what else is interesting. It seems that the variants always originate over the European countries. Nothing against the European countries. Alright, let's quickly talk about this message race. And unfortunately, for a lot of people, this is going to flow right back onto us, the people, the customers. But again, congratulations to the people that are getting this. So the company KLLN, which is trucking company, just announced that they are going to be implementing starting in February up to 33% raise for their over-the-road truckers, their truck drivers. This is incredible, 33% raise to over-the-road drivers. Now, these are the people that drive across the entire country or multiple states, whatever it happens to be more like a long-haul drivers. They said that the fresh student, a new student right out of classes first year, could earn between $120,000 to $150,000 as an over-the-road driver. This is incredible. That's like twice as much as a national average income in this country right now. Because here's the thing, if these people were not important and providing the really important service, their income could not be that much, right? Because that's just the deal. It's a simple supply and demand. A demand is telling us that truck drivers is incredibly important right now, getting a lot of products and goods across the country that we need on all the store servers. Therefore, they have to pay them higher and hire more people to bring them into the industry. Because as according to this report that I was reading, they are actually estimating that as a couple months ago, the trucking industry is down 80,000 drivers right now. We are not talking like 5,000 people. 80,000 people is what they are charged right now. They're having hard time recruiting new drivers. Now, what they also said is regional drivers. So the 33% could be going to over-the-road drivers. They are like instrumental when it comes to getting the product on their self, because realistically, there are people who do it right. That goes from the distributor or manufacturers, or whenever it comes from, it gets forwarded across the country, across the state, and it brings it to the store and loading dock the stores where we go and buy this product. The grocery stores, the retail stores, and all these places like this. And they are the people bringing it there. It's gonna land right in the prices of all of these products. It's have to go somewhere, and it's gonna come right back to us. So once again, the inflation is going to be running hot going forward. Because here's the deal, that the delivery cost of all what with the fuel, the operation of the vehicle, driver, and all of these things like this is going to raise the price. They pass the cost on to where the product is going. So what the store that having the product delivered, all of these things like this, the retailer, the grocery, all this stuff, and they need to transfer that price that increase the cost right onto us, the customer. We are end users in the most cases for most product. So we are the people who pick the product off the sellers and we buy it, and then it's kind of like the end of the customer loop.